The reigning champs in Italy get a tough test in Milan, and Dortmund try to keep pace with Bayern in the Bundesliga.
La Liga is prepping for a Madrid battle, and the Premier League has the last two undefeated teams going head-to-head. Someone's O has got to go. All this and more on this episode 91 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. News, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam today. Brainiac J fam in the back, Danny P on the ones and twos, but you know, everybody is here to see our dog hype man, Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we're mixing things up a little bit today. And, I've just been drinking a lot, and I think it's time for a change. We have high quality H2O today, and I'm using my Walla. I can't even say that with a straight face. We got a margarita today. That's what I have. I've been going tequila kick, and yeah. I even made the lime wheel and everything. We're not doing that today, and we're almost like in celebratory mode as well because we have 100 freaking subscribers on YouTube. What the hell? Ooh. I never imagined that. Is crazy. 101 actually. We're gonna
it's 101, baby.
Oh, hey, and we got
we got a soundboard.
Applause too. We got a soundboard. Things are moving up.
Going crazy today.
Yeah, he is happy, and it's all because of you guys watching or putting up with us, one or the other. And if you haven't, join the Hundreds Club, and subscribe to us. It's the best way to tell YouTube that hey, these guys are pretty cool, and they make a pretty picture perfect margarita. I mean that thing looks really good.
That is pretty nice. Yeah, that
while
looks
you
nice.
do that, I'm probably gonna spill some. Let me cheers you real quick though. There you go.
There we go. Cheers, everyone. Like and subscribe. Let's go. And we got a full slate of things to cover. We got the Europa League. We got midweek madness. We got a look ahead for La Liga, Prem, Bundesliga, and Serie A. And, of course, we got to start with boots on the ground right here in Austin, Texas, at the Austin FC Minute.
Yes, and this will be quick because Austin FC can seal a playoff spot with a win this weekend against Real Salt Lake in Real Salt Lake at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be great, but honestly, the best news of the week, which actually just happened today or yesterday, if you are watching, it's a 1-2 punch. Our number one, Brad Stuber, signs for a 2-year extension through 2027. Rodolfo is he's cooking back there. Had to keep a local legend. He's the main guy that we've had, the only guy that we've had leading in caps for Austin FC. Has an extension through 2027 with an option of 2028. And congratulations, he definitely deserves it. And we love to have him here in Austin. Yeah, where's the applause?
Hey, applause, Danny P.
Yeah.
What? Just put it off. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Staple of Austin, and glad to have him around. I did see an interview he was doing. He said that the plan was to retire here and then just get a job with Austin FC, and we would absolutely love it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. And that's all we have right now because we are going to update again next week because we do have the U.S. Open Cup next Wednesday. There's going to be festivities. We will all talk to you about that very soon. So like and subscribe so you're the first one to get a notification when that drops.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. Let's jump over to the European side of things now, and let's go to the UEFA competitions and talk about our Europa League. Okay. Just like we had a week full of Champions League last week, we get Europa League this week, and there were some pretty damn good matches for the Europa League slate. Now, there's going to be a big mixture of things, right? Because you're going to have your Midtjylland versus Sturm Graz. You like that? But you're also going to get matches like the one that happened between Real Betis and Nottingham Forest, which was awesome. And it's two teams that we cover every week, so we kind of know the ins and outs of what they've been doing for the season. But that match was awesome where you see Anthony, he ends up getting an assist, and then he gets the late goal to get an equalizer and bring home a point for Betis at home. Forrest almost had it done, but in true Ange Postecoglou style, can't win a game, can't seal it out. I'm not a hater. He got us our first trophy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he just can't get it done. Other matches from around the Europa League, and I hear a lot of blinging going on. So hopefully I'm not missing something. Vic, am I missing something here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we're good. All
I
right.
haven't heard anything. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's other things going on. But Freiburg versus Basel occurred. Freiburg got 2-1 over Basel. We also had Roma winning over Nice 2-1. What else? We have the teams that we cover. Oh, yes, the other match that happened today was VfB Stuttgart beat Celta Vigo at home, and that was a really good match. If you see some of the finishing that was going on, Stuttgart needed this because they've had a slow start to the Bundesliga season, as we'll talk about here in a minute. But getting a win over Celta Vigo, who they're the draw, the kings of the draw right now in La Liga. They could not get the draw, get the equalizer there. We also have Aston Villa getting a win and a goal over Bologna. They can't do that in the Prem at all, right? But they can do it in the Europa League in their first match, which is really cool to see. Vic loves young boys, and they lost 1-4 to Panathinaikos. And Vic, any other matches you want to talk about in Europa League?
The only other one is the our go-ahead Eagles lost to I don't even know, FCSB.
It's Steaua Bucharest.
Steaua Bucharest. Yes,
FCSB.
FCSB.
Yeah, that's true,
1-0.
man. 1-0. Golly.
Also, I did look for their kits. Extremely hard to come by. I don't think I've found like a reliable link yet, but I'll keep looking.
For Go Ahead Eagles?
Yeah, for Go Ahead Eagles. It's really hard to find. Yeah. But
okay.
I'll keep looking.
If we have any fans that are friends, we'll call them, in the Netherlands, please let us know. We need a jersey for this. Go Ahead Eagles. I'll take really if whatever team you cover. Hey, our loyalty can be bought. Just know that because we're not above that here. I mean, my man's wearing a Newcastle kit, but he had to pay for that one.
We do thank him for their gift as well. So
yes.
At Liverpool. But I specifically said no Premier League in my box. It's one of the reasons I quit it. And the first thing I got was Premier League. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
looks pretty cool.
It happens. Okay. Well, that's it for the Europa League roundup, and we have plenty more in store as we get going. It's about to be October, which is just freaking crazy. My daughter's turning 10 months tomorrow. Wow. Dang. Even crazier. I don't know. I just looked down and saw the date. So that's anyway. So yeah, man, we have we're getting into the full swing of things. All the teams are going. We actually have another international break coming up too. That's always sucks. Like, it feels like we're getting momentum and then we get stopped again. I think we get maybe 2 more match days before the break, something like that.
I think so, yeah.
But either way, let's jump right into it. I think we're on track there, right? Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's jump right into it. Let's go first to Italy.
Let's do it to Serie A.
Oh man, we got some big matchups, some Scudetto deciders, and then also some teams that could be bouncing around the top 4, top 6 in the league that are going head to head. Man, a lot to love here in the in Serie A. I don't know why I was going to say Bundesliga. That's next, but in Serie A. And of course, we have teams that I'm looking forward to. Some players that broke out last week. I'm looking to see if they continue that. But we'll talk about all that and more. Vic, let's jump right into it.
Well, let's do it. Let's go ahead and talk about the match day 5 for Serie A, and it all starts on Saturday as we have Como welcoming Cremonese. Cremonese still unbeaten. Pretty crazy.
For as poor as Cremonese have looked coming out of the international break, again, still undefeated. They haven't been beaten in Serie A, so not too poor. So if we can see anything like the team pre-international break that we had in September, this matchup in Como could be very, very entertaining and very fun. But Como will have to believe that they're going to get 3 points here and kind of get back on that train of winning, because they've been a little bit stop and start here at the beginning of this season.
And then our next matchup is a classic, and both teams are still undefeated. It is Juve taking on Atalanta. Man, I got both their names wrong. Juve, Atlanta. Jeez. Juve taking on Atalanta.
Oh, man, my boy's still in Japan, okay? He's still getting used to this American time, all right? Juve will look to get 3 points here after drawing with Verona last weekend. Even though Atalanta haven't been the AT aliens that they have been in the past, they're still unbeaten and right up at the top of the table, close to Juve. If they can get a point or 3 here, can't count that out, that would be a big statement for Atalanta.
And then closing out our Saturday, we have another classic matchup as Inter go on the road to take on Cagliari.
Early season table watching is weird because this match sees a mid-table Inter go on the road to take on 7th placed Cagliari. You like those accents right there. Nice. But that's I don't think that's a stretch to say that Cagliari's 2-match winning streak might be broken here, and Inter being mid-table is just, early season fun. But yeah, I think Inter get right here.
And then we move on to Sunday, and our opening matchup we have is a mid-table matchup. It is Sassuolo versus Udinese.
Udinese proved to us that they can't hang with the big dogs yet. I don't want to say they can't permanently, but yet. After a 3-0 thumping by Milan, but this is the matchup I expect them to win. Sassuolo have lost 3 of their first 4 matches and might still need some seasoning before they can match up against some of the Serie A mainstays like Udinese.
And then we have Verona taking on a tough task, going on the road to take on Roma.
Roma are flying high after their win in the Derby della Capitale, but they should feel confident that they can get all 3 points from Verona. Verona did force a shock draw with Juve last weekend, but can lightning strike twice? I don't think it can unless our boy Orban plays like he did last weekend. He had a tremendous game, and he kind of broke out. That's the player I was talking about a little earlier. If he can stick to what he's been doing and causing trouble up front, maybe Verona can get a point.
And then our next matchup has a battle at the bottom of the table as our Fiorentina go on the road to take on Pisa, and the winner gets out of the relegation battle.
Yeah, all right. This is a get-right game in the making for our Fiorentina. And I mean, if they can't get their first win here, then what are we doing? What is going on? Pisa, it looks like they're going to be fighting the relegation fight the entire season at this point. Maybe they are a little bit better, whatever. It's early time. But right now, they look like one of the worst teams in Serie A. So Fiorentina, it is a must-win match. They have to get 3 points here.
And our next match has the Milkmen Lecce trying to get any kind of points, but it's going to be hard against the visiting Bologna.
The Milkmen are right there with Pisa at the bottom of the table, and Bologna will hope to get their first back-to-back wins of the season. And Bologna, we just talked about they lost to Villa, who can't beat anybody in the Prem. I don't know what's going on with that, but Bologna got to get right spot here with Lecce.
And this next matchup doesn't need an introduction. That was easy. I'm just kidding. It is AC Milan taking on Napoli, number 1 versus number 3. And how's this match going to look at?
Let's go. Napoli and Milan are set to face off in what is Napoli's first major clash of the Serie A season. Both teams are towards the top in scoring, and both have kept 3 clean sheets in 4 matches in Serie A. Milan's shock loss to Cremonese is the only blemish on either side's record, as Napoli have won all 4 Serie A matches to start the season. Both teams come in with a bit of momentum, and they're both in form. It's going to be really, really tough to call. I'm just ready to sit down and watch it. I think I'm leaning Napoli because I feel like they have that championship pedigree, but I'm excited for this one, Vic.
And then we move on to Monday Night Football as we have Parma taking on Torino. Only 1 win between both teams, trying to add some more points.
Yeah, Torino have been the better side, but I'm not ready to believe that Parma are really as bad as they've started because they had a great season last year for all intents and purposes. How you say it? Is that intents and purposes? Okay, cool. That just sounded It just sounded weird. Anyway, this reeks of a draw, though. But Parma are by far the more win-needy team, so they should be going for it.
And then we have I hate to be disrespectful, but lackluster ending to match day 5 as Genoa welcome Lazio.
Lazio, after losing to Roma, have now lost 3 of their first 4 matches in Serie A, and I'm starting to believe that Sarri has lost his magic, at least with this Lazio side. Now it's way too early to panic. I say that, but we had a Roma team that sacked like 2 coaches between September and November or whatever it was. But either way, if Lazio cannot get a win here over Genoa, it might be time to panic. But Genoa come in as a wounded animal, still searching for their first win of the season. It's not a good situation to be in for either side, but something's got to give.
And those are your matches for Serie A match day 5. And these are going to be the top matches and headlines we're looking forward to in Serie A match day 5. And it starts with number 1, of course, Milan versus Napoli.
How could it not be? How could this one not be the top one to watch if you're looking for which ones to hone in on? This matchup has almost too many narratives to count, but this match will be our first indication of whether or not Napoli can retain their crown as the kings of Italy, or if Milan are true title challengers. It's Pulisic, De Bruyne, Jimenez, McTominay. Let's go. I'm excited.
And then we move from that number 1 versus 3 match to a number 2 versus 5 match as Juve take on Atalanta.
Atalanta have had a ton of change coming into this season, and we're still gathering data on what and who they are as a team, but they would have seen how Verona held Juve to a draw and think that they can do the same, if not better. But Juve have been so good. I'm excited to see this one play out. I think that Juve have a little bit more firepower, but man, Atalanta has to get it going soon.
And those are your top matches and headlines for City on match day 5. And I said the names right. Juve, Atalanta. I focused on it.
I love it. Look at that. Look at that. You got it. You know, while you were talking there, while I was talking there about Fiorentina, I was just picturing that sandwich that we had whenever we were, drunk after the game. And I cannot remember for the life of me what it was or what it was called. I just remember it was like stomach or something, right? Like, if you've been to,
I don't remember.
Right? That's true. Yeah, you were way worse.
Way
if you are a Fiorentina fan, or if you've been to Florence and seen them, there's these sandwiches that there's out in front. There's a big park area, and there's these trucks. They sell all this food, and there's a specific sandwich that's from that area. And I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I was thinking about it. I was just like, that sounds nice, man. That sounds nice.
I had a few too many Peronis, right? They're Peronis.
Was it? I don't even remember.
I think they're Peronis, the beer. Yeah. Had a few too many of those. But hey, it was fun.
Okay.
We'll do it again.
Well, anything else we need to discuss here, sir?
All good on my end.
Okay, let's keep it rolling. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga.
And the more I move around and stuff, the more chest is showing with this shirt. I don't know what's going on with it.
That's how we got those 101 subscribers.
Yeah, I know, right? But if I do the button, I look like it's uncomfortable. I'm trying to be chill, right?
We can make this a mature podcast.
I got one or two hairs showing too, so they're coming in. Oh yes, but we were talking about it prior to the show that the Bundesliga, it's there's not a ton of marquee matchups, but there's a lot of interesting things going on. A lot of matches that I'm interested to see how it turns out, because the Bavarian bullies, you feel like they're going to win until, maybe they lose one game this season. I don't know, but they look so good. So let's jump in, Vic.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's go over the matches we have for Bundesliga match day 5, and you hit the nail on the head, as not very interesting, as we have Bayern Munich taking on Werder Bremen.
Bayern have torn through the Bundesliga thus far, and I don't see a one-win Werder Bremen side stopping that. Anything's possible in this sport, but I don't see it.
That is our lone match on Friday, and then we move on to Saturday as Borussia Dortmund go on the road to take on Mainz.
Mainz finally got that elusive first win in dominant fashion over Augsburg, but Dortmund are a different animal coming in with a 3-win streak. It's unfortunate that Mainz get this tough matchup right now, but if they can at least get a point from this match, they'll count that as a win.
And then it's 16 taking on 18 as Heidenheim welcome Augsburg.
It's 2 of the bottom 3 teams in the Bundesliga so far, and both come in on losing streaks. I still think Augsburg's got some juice, while Double H look like they will be rooted to the bottom of the table for the rest of the year. If Augsburg can't win here, then they might be in trouble as well.
And then we have 2 teams really starving for some points, as we have St. Pauli welcoming Bayern Leverkusen.
St. Pauli failed their test against Stuttgart last weekend, and next up is Leverkusen. It's not the Leverkusen of old, but they're still very, very talented. And Leverkusen look like they're still going to be tough to beat, so it's just another litmus test for St. Pauli, who we still have a ton of questions about after they barely stayed in the Bundesliga last season.
And then our next matchup has Leipzig wanting to stay in third spot as they take on Wolfsburg.
It's bad news for Wolfsburg, who, despite the good vibes coming into the season, have started off with just 1 win in their last 4 matches. And Leipzig are starting to pick it up with Bakayoko at the helm. If Wolfsburg lose another match here, I'm going to start looking at them a little different.
And then we close out Saturday with maybe not the most interesting game, but the most interesting names for me to say as Borussia Mönchengladbach take on Eintracht Frankfurt.
I wrote them out all completely because I knew I wanted you to have fun with that one. But
it's my boy. Yeah.
It's just what the doctor ordered for Frankfurt as they get Gladbach after losing back-to-back matches in Bundesliga. They should be able to get back on track against the side who just recently sacked their manager. And man, Eintracht Frankfurt really, really need to win here.
And then we move on to Sunday as Freiburg welcome Hoffenheim.
Freiburg are starting to pick it up with back-to-back wins after losing their first two matches, but Hoffenheim have been a tough out. Not so much against Bayern, but yeah, that doesn't count because they're going to be winning against everybody. I think we could be in for a very good match here.
And then we go on to our second matchup of Sunday as Köln, the cutest little mascot, welcomes Stuttgart.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was disappointed with Köln's. I want to say Cologne or Köln, but it is what it is. Köln's performance against Leipzig. They're still sitting pretty at the moment, and a result here would really wash the taste out of their mouth quick. But Stuttgart have had a start and stop season and need to stack up some wins to get them going. And maybe the win in the Europa League against Celta Vigo will kind of help them to get this win and continue to win.
And then we close out our match day 5 as Hamburg go on the road to take on the flying high Union Berlin.
I'm curious to see if Union Berlin's win over Frankfurt was a fluke or not. They looked really good, but they were so bad in the first two matches prior. Hamburg got their first win last time out, but it was over Double H, who are by far the worst team in the league this season. I think Union could get it done fairly easy. So let's see if Bert can get his repeat of his heroics last time out with his hat trick. I don't really know which way to call this one, but I feel like Union Berlin just have that pedigree to get it done.
And those are your matches for match day 5 in the Bundesliga. Let's go ahead and turn to our top matches and headlines that you can expect from the No Business Soccer podcast for Bundesliga match day 5. And number 1 is, of course, Mainz taking on Borussia Dortmund.
Yes, Mainz have had a slow start, but they get their first win last week. And if they can get something from this match, they can jumpstart their season. But outside of a draw with St. Pauli in match day 1, Dortmund have been awesome. They've been perfect. And I'm super interested to see how this one goes.
And number 2 is never losing Leverkusen going on the road to take on St. Pauli.
Even though it's not the same old Leverkusen from the past couple seasons we talked about, St. Pauli need to prove that last week's loss to Stuttgart was a fluke, because let's not forget that they barely stayed up last season. This match will tell us a lot about where St. Pauli truly are this year, if they are the team that started off so hot or if they're going to be the team that barely stayed in last season.
And number 3, one of the hottest matchups I think is going on this weekend, Köln taking on Stuttgart.
For the second straight week, Stuttgart get a gatekeeper match, as we were talking about the UFC style. This time, it's Cologne trying to prove that they still belong in that top echelon of the Bundesliga. It's also the two teams that played each other here in Austin in 2022, I believe. So we've got a soft spot in our hearts for this matchup. We're just going to sit down and reminisce on the good times.
And those are your top matches and headlines we're expecting for the Bundesliga match day 5. And I totally forgot that is the match that they had here in Austin, T2 Stadium. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that season, Köln, they got relegated. So then they took them a couple seasons to get back. But they're here now, so we can do it again. Yeah, man. This it's gonna be that. Out of all the drinks, that's my stuff right there. Like the margaritas. That's
so good. Oh, the tequila I used was Fortaleza as well. So it's so good. So good. Okay. I mean, you can tell it's already gone.
Right. Yeah. But before we move off, I just want to say that Wolfsburg versus Leipzig, it's not one of the top matches, because I do expect that Leipzig will probably win pretty easily, maybe like a 2-0, something like that. But I'm just very disappointed. I was so high on Wolfsburg coming in, and they started off and they weren't winning, but they weren't losing. And now they're just like not winning, and they haven't won but once this season. And it's just kind of not the team that I was hoping they would be. So we will find out how this one turns out. But man, Wolfsburg's starting to disappoint me. Okay. Anything else before we move on?
All good, sir.
Let's do it. Let's go to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga.
We need a
yeah
midweek madness to talk about before we jump into the look ahead, because this week we had La Liga match day 6 going on. And if you recall, Celta Vigo and Betis already played their match day 6 match. It was a draw. They played it a couple weeks ago because they have their Europa League matches today, so they couldn't play it. But let's jump into it, Vic.
Let's do it. Let's go over La Liga match day 6, the midweek matchup. And it started on Tuesday with the draw as Espanyol drew with Valencia 2-2.
What a way to battle back for Espanyol after Valencia took the lead twice. It was Javi Pardo's stoppage time header that sends the home crowd into a frenzy. At this point, I think Espanyol are just going to be much better than we thought they were, and they are much better than they were last season.
Our next matchup was also a draw. It was 1 goal apiece and 1 point apiece for Athletic Club and Girona.
It's rough times for Athletic Club when they can't get a win over Girona at San Mamés. They had 17 shots. It's still only a draw. They are so reliant on Nico Williams. It's not even funny. They need him back as soon as possible.
Our third matchup did have a win, and it came on the backs of Villarreal as they went on the road to beat Sevilla 1-2.
Villarreal making back-to-back wins with 3 points on the road to Sevilla. The winning goal comes thanks to Maynard Solomon, the Spurs loanee, but there's something different about Sevilla at this point. They're playing way better. They could have taken more from this game, and I'm excited to see how they continue.
And then our last matchup on Tuesday had Real Madrid taking care of business against Levante 4-1.
Real Madrid continued their perfect start to the season with their 6th straight win. Of the 4 goals, Mastantuonos, that's a tough last name to say, was pretty good. But Vinicius's goal was sexy, like really, really good. He flicks it with the outside of his foot, and somehow it still curls around the keeper. Madrid are so good right now. It's scary. Keep an eye on Eda Iyong for Levante. He came over from Villarreal recently. 6 matches in, and he scored 4 goals already. Only Mbappe has more goals in La Liga so far.
And then we have 2 teams trying to stay in the top 10 of the league. We had Getafe and Alaves battling to a 1-1 draw.
Getafe and Alaves draw, which keeps Getafe in the top 6 for now. It is a scrappy goal for Getafe and a well-taken corner for Alaves. It's a fine result for both sides, but I do think that the steam is starting to run out of the Getafe train.
And then we had Real Sociedad at home taking on Mallorca, getting a 1-0 draw and making real good use of a poor Mallorca side.
Real Sociedad win. It's Ayorzabal that taps in the winning goal, and all is well in San Sebastian tonight. They're eating that awesome fish with the lemon and the good stuff that you see on Somebody Feed Phil. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. There was a late penalty scare, but overall they controlled this game, and it begs the question, are Mallorca just really not that good this season? Because La Real have been pretty bad coming in, let's be honest. And maybe they've turned a corner, but maybe Mallorca is just not good.
And then we had Atletico Madrid handling business against Rayo Vallecano 3-2. And we also have a certified no business podcast listener in Julian Alvarez.
Yes, Julian Alvarez heard Hype Man Vic talking mess about him not scoring goals, so he went out and got a hat trick in one of the best matches of this young season. Rayo did everything they could to come away with something from this match, but Alvarez was dragging his team to the promised land all night. And in this case, in case you didn't watch this match, Pep Chavarria hit one of the best long-range goals that I have ever seen. The best footballers in the world could hit this shot 100 times and never make it the way that he did, never hit it as cleanly. It was that good. I promise you, if you haven't seen the highlights, go check it out. I don't think we'll see a better goal all season.
And that closes out our Wednesday. Then we move on to Thursday night football as Osasuna and Elche battle to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Elche continue their impressive run and stay unbeaten in La Liga with the stoppage time equalizer against Osasuna, and Elche just continuing to pour it on. I love it. Unbeaten.
And then we had closing out our match day 6, midweek match day, Barcelona, of course, handling business and beating Oviedo 3-1.
Yeah, this is the only one that I didn't get to watch, so I don't really have any notes on it other than to say that Oviedo has had a terrible start to the season. And when you see Elche just right across the way doing the same thing as a newly promoted, or doing the complete opposite as a newly promoted side, it just doesn't bode well. And Barca are going to win all the time. So that was our midweek madness. And let's go into the look at, because match day 6 was awesome, and we continue to see some teams underperform, and some of these teams like Elche doing their best to just stay on top and overperform. I guess we have to call it overperforming now because we don't know what to think of them. So let's jump into it, Vic.
Yes, let's go on to La Liga Match Day 7 this weekend, and it's a short turnaround for Girona and Espanyol as they open up our match day on Friday.
Isn't that messed up? They have like a day rest or like why would you do this to them? It sucks. But Espanyol came back against Valencia and have shown some grittiness that just wasn't there last season. And yes, Girona did get a draw with Athletic Club, but they're playing like the worst team in La Liga. And even though their roster might look good on paper, until they start to prove that they aren't that bad, we'll continue to rate them as such. And I think it's a good chance for Espanyol to get a win here.
And then we move on to Saturday, and it opens up with Getafe taking on Levante.
Levante haven't been great so far, and if Getafe can be their typical defensive, frustrating side, they may be able to get a win here, 1-0, something like that.
And then we move on to the Battle of Madrid as Atleti take on Real.
Okay, Atleti,
I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah,
right, all right, that's okay. That's all right. We want to say it like that, but Atleti finally get the result that you hope can spur them on with a 3-2 win over Rayo. Julian Alvarez will hope his hat trick will also jumpstart his season, as we had just hype man Vic had just made fun of him, and now he's starting to score for fun. Real Madrid, on the other hand, have been terrific out of the gate and look unstoppable right now outside of the Atleti fans. I don't see how anyone has confidence that they're going to get something from this match. Anything can happen in a derby. We know that. But prior to this last performance, Atleti, they looked stale. They looked out of options and out of any kind of creativity. Atleti coming to the match already 9 points behind Real. And if they plan on being anything like a title challenger looks, they're going to have to get all 3 points here at home this weekend.
And then we move on to our next matchup for Saturday as Alaves go on the road to Mallorca.
I went from thinking that Mallorca were a tough team to beat that's going to be mid-table to now thinking that they just might not be that good. And Alaves haven't been great either, but at least they've won a couple matches this season. It's entering must-win territory for Mallorca.
And then we close out our Saturday with a fun one as number 3 Villarreal take on number 6 Athletic Club.
As long as Nico Williams is out injured, this Athletic Club side they're really struggling to score goals. And without his creativity and clinical finishing, they just look lost out there. Villarreal are coming in off back-to-back wins, and they're starting to feel themselves a bit. Outside of San Mamés, I think Villarreal can get 3 points here.
And then moving on to Sunday, we have two teams trying to get out of the bottom half of the table as Rayo welcome Sevilla.
For as bad as Sevilla have been, and all the headlines are about their downfall, they have more wins and points than Rayo right now. Rayo has shown flashes, and they'll be tough to beat, but if they can't win some of these matches that they're getting close on, they may find themselves in trouble.
We continue Sunday with Elche, the surprising team of the season, looking to keep their unbeaten streak going against Celta Vigo.
Yes, Celta are the king of the draws at the moment with 5 straight. And Elche would be just fine with that result because it would continue their unbeaten run. They sit in 5th after 6 match days. And obviously the table means nothing this early on. But come on, nobody saw that coming. And I am all aboard the hype train for Elche.
And then we move on Sunday as Barcelona welcome Real Sociedad, hoping to be anything but an easy meal for them.
Sociedad stop their 3-match losing streak with a win over Mallorca midweek. Just talked about it. But to keep that winning feeling, they'll have to be a very, very good Barca side. Barca come in off 3 straight wins and have now won 5 of their first 6 La Liga matches, only bested by the 6 straight wins that Real Madrid have.
And then we close out our Saturday as Real Betis welcome Osasuna.
Betis faced Nottingham Forest in the Europa League and had a great comeback to force a draw, and that will set them up nicely against Osasuna, who have been taken over. They've taken over the tough mid-table team that Mallorca used to occupy. So Osasuna could be a tough out for Betis, but Betis, they just starting to hit their stride. And let's face it, Anthony is there. He's clicking. He's firing on all cylinders. I'm excited to see if he can do it again.
And then we have our Monday night matchup as Valencia take on Oviedo.
Valencia will be disappointed not to come away with 3 points against Espanyol, and they'll have a great chance to pick up 3 points here. Oviedo have certainly not enjoyed their return to La Liga, and they've lost 5 of their 6 matches so far. It's just looking like Valencia get a bounce-back spot here.
And those are your matchups for La Liga Match Day 7. Pretty exciting times, but we will go ahead and move right into the top matches and headlines that we have for La Liga Match Day 7. And of course, it starts at number 1, the battle for Madrid, Real taking on Atleti.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it had to be this one as the best match to watch if you're going to catch any in La Liga this weekend. This seems like a formality for Real Madrid side, who have won 7 straight games in all competitions thus far. But Atleti are unbeaten in their last 7 home games, and the last 3 Madrid derbies in La Liga have all ended in 1-1 draws. So Atleti has a chance.
And number 2, of course, Barcelona welcoming Real Sociedad.
La Real get their first taste of victory this season, and I want to see if they can be spurred on by it and get something from this match. Barca will be a very, very tough test, but that's what makes this one interesting for Sociedad because they need to get it going and very, very soon.
And number 3, the feel-good story of the year so far, Elche welcoming Celta Vigo.
All aboard the hype train for the mighty Elche. I couldn't find any info on it, but I've been trying to find the record for unbeaten games by a newly promoted side. There's no gimmies in the top tier of Spanish football, but Celta haven't won a match yet. A draw is good enough to keep the train rolling.
And those are your top matches and headlines for La Liga Match Day 7. And I am also on board that Elche hype train. And choo-choo, right? Choo-choo. Let's do it.
Choo-choo.
Heck yeah.
I was looking at, let's see. Okay. Yeah. What's wrong?
I was going to say, I couldn't find it either. I don't know if you were looking for the most wins. And hey, look at that. We got a train too. I couldn't find the most wins by a newly promoted team, but.
No, I had a note. I searched, I chat GPT'd it. I Googled it. I looked for all kinds of things. I couldn't find anything. So the main thing that I wanted to talk about, again, Betis, they're starting to click. I didn't have their match here because it's Osasuna, and I think it will be a tough match. I just don't know if it'll be a good match to watch, but the main point is definitely Elche. I mean, it's going to be so fun to see how long they can keep this going because there's going to be a time where they're going to play a very good team like Barca, Real Madrid, Athletic Club, something like that. But I mean, they've already played Atleti and Sevilla, and someone else can't remember who it was. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was going to look for their schedule. Let's see. I just wanted to check real quick. What is the match that we think they might lose? So this week, yeah. So they have Celta Vigo this week. Then they have Elche has who do they have in the next week? Let's see. Elche, where's it at? Oh, Athletic Club. Oh, Alaves. Yeah. So Alaves, I think they can get a win there. And then Athletic Club, October 19th. So they might not lose their first match until the end of October. Like, that's crazy. They're sitting pretty, man. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. Yeah. And then after that, though, I mean, if they can get a win, if Nico Williams isn't back, it's Espanyol, who they've been good too. So I don't know. I'm just excited for them. I'm going to see this match. Okay. I've talked too much about a team that's newly promoted. People are like, what the hell is going on here? We talk about Barcelona and Real Madrid too. So chill out. Okay, let's do it. Look at this. 37 minutes in. We are flying through this stuff. Well, let's do it. Let's jump to England.
Let's do it. To the Prem.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's always good matchups in the Prem because the teams are just so stacked with talent and the squads are deep. But this week, I mean, we have a couple matches that I'm looking forward to, but mostly there's a lot of like position battles, like who is going to be the true mid-table team, who's coming up to be in that top 6. There's not a whole lot of title challenging things here. So we'll have to see how it turns out. But of course, the one matchup that we're all looking forward to involves the 2 undefeated teams. And we'll jump to that in a moment, Vic. So get us kicked off here.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the matches in Premier League Match Day 6, and it all starts on Saturday as Manchester United try to get 2 wins put together against Brentford.
Brentford will look to have a better performance against Manchester United this weekend than they did against Fulham last time out, but United have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League matches and have a chance to get their second win in a row here, and I know one guy with big hair is looking very forward to a streak.
And then moving on, we have the newly promoted Leeds welcoming Bournemouth to Leeds. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Leeds.
Yeah.
Leeds are riding high after they gave Wolves the business last weekend, but Bournemouth have been on fire. It'll be a tough test for Leeds to get a point from this match because the Cherries are on a mission right now, and I'm feeling like if they can win this one, they can just continue to stack the momentum. They might be looking at a European finish.
And then we go on with two teams that are a little frustrated after last week as Chelsea welcome Brighton.
Brighton will be a little frustrated with how the match ended with Spurs last weekend, but Chelsea might be without Palmer and Sanchez. I think Chelsea have the upper hand here, but Brighton are due for a win after they've played really well recently.
And then moving on, we have Manchester City welcoming the newly promoted Burnley.
City were so close from leaving the Emirates with all 3 points, but with that draw, they're already 8 points behind Liverpool at the top. So it should be a straightforward match for City because they cannot drop any more points if they want to be title challengers.
And then, like you alluded to earlier, the two unbeaten teams go head-to-head as Crystal Palace welcome Liverpool. Someone's O has got to go.
I mean, look, no matter what I say here, we know how this one ends. Liverpool underperformed the entire match, Victor, and then Palace is about to win or get a point. Then Liverpool come back in dramatic fashion. They win the match. They keep their perfect record intact, yada, yada. Let's go.
Then we will move right along to our next matchup as Nottingham Forest welcome the newly promoted Sunderland.
Don't look now, but Sunderland are up in 7th in the table. We can't get our hopes up for a promoted side staying up yet, but Forest have lost their spark that made them the surprise team of last season, and Sunderland can get something from this match for sure. And if they do, I mean, we've been waiting for it, Vic. It's been 2 seasons since a promoted team has done anything.
And then closing out our Saturday, we have Tottenham looking to keep Wolves in their losing form as they welcome Wolverhampton.
Wolves have started off with 5 straight losses and look like the worst team in the Prem so far. A ton has changed for Spurs since Wolves beat them 4-2 in April, which is crazy, the same year. But it feels like a spot where Spurs can really shine and put in a perfect performance at home. But it's never that easy, is it? Never, unless you're Liverpool. Well, even then, it hasn't been easy this season.
Yeah, exactly. But that closes out our Saturday. We move on to Sunday as Aston Villa, getting a win in the Europa League, look to keep that momentum going as they welcome Fulham.
Villa are struggling on and off the pitch, then find themselves in 18th in the table at the moment with just 1 goal scored in 5 matches. Fulham come in as the more informed team with back-to-back wins, but you got to believe that Villa can turn things around soon, and maybe that 1-0 win over Bologna will be the spark they needed to get a win here.
And then closing out our Sunday, Arsenal go on the road to take on Newcastle.
Newcastle still only have 1 win on their record, but they're starting to look more and more like a team on the pitch and just kind of gelling with each other in that squad. The issue is that Arsenal have looked great. And even if this has been a tricky fixture recently for Arsenal, I think the expectations are that the Gunners get the win here. I mean, how could it not be?
Yes, so. And then we have Monday Night Football as Everton get the home game again in their new stadium as they welcome West Ham.
And I have a theory about this one. My theory here is that this match is the Monday night match at Everton for West Ham. I mean, the new stadium, the island game, it's a big deal. The atmosphere is going to be awesome. And Everton are probably going to win convincingly the way that West Ham have been playing. And this is the moment that Graham Potter gets sacked. That's why this is like that island game there. I just feel like this is Monday night. So Tuesday morning, we're going to see something pop up on ESPN that Graham Potter's been sacked. Mark my words.
Okay, there you go. There is your prediction that we have right here. We predict these things. And that is it for your Match Day 6. Let's go ahead and move on to the top matches and headlines that we have for Premier League Match Day 6. And of course, it is Crystal Palace taking on Liverpool.
Yep, it's a match between the only 2 undefeated teams left in the Prem, as we already mentioned. And even though we know that Liverpool will probably just win it in stoppage time, like we alluded to, Palace have been excellent so far this season, and will be more than a tough task to up to the task of stopping Liverpool's win streak. And let's not forget, they already beat them once this year whenever they beat them in the Community Shield. Of course, that was in penalties. This one won't go that far, but hey, that means that there's some momentum on their side. And they just drew each other in the next round of the Carabao Cup too. This is becoming like a series. Maybe Palace got their number. We'll find out.
Nah, let's not find that out. But we'll go ahead and go on to number 2, Newcastle taking on Arsenal.
As this Newcastle squad starts to gel, the results will follow eventually. I'm sure of it. And I'm not sure what they get that they'll get a result from this match, though, because it might be a little too early for them. But imagine if they do. The Gunners are already 5 points back from Liverpool at the top of the table. They don't want to see that go to 8 points this early in the season. And between these 2 matches, that's why I picked them, we could see a very big gap start to form. And it's obviously we're only 6 matches in. You usually don't talk about it, but that is a very, very big gap.
I agree. And those are your top matches and headlines for the Premier League Match Day 6. And I do agree with you, Stews. Let's see that gap widen. Just get it out of the way early. Let's not have a weird race at the end like we did last year.
It was not.
It was similarly like
they didn't even get to like
no race.
10
That's
points.
what I want.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
My bad. I said that a little weird. I could have said that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, they didn't even get close. No one was close last season. Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, I just realized though, like I've never make like predictions or calls or anything, and the one time I do is like Everton are going to blow out West Ham. What? Why would I predict? I don't know. I do think that it's going to be something like that though, because why else would this match be on like the main? I mean, I know why, because David Moyes used to coach both sides, but still, it's just like there's going to be some fireworks. I think that Everton going to be up for the task, and man, if Graham Potter gets sacked, I'm not going to be happy. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I'm not going to be happy if that happens. I don't want him to lose his job. But then if I'm right, it might be pretty cool.
Maybe they're treating Monday Night Football like the NFL treats their Thursday Night Football. Just those teams that, it's probably not going to be a good match. But, we got to get them some sort of headline. I forgot.
I forgot
we gave the Everton.
Our first boo.
I forgot we gave the Everton supporter here.
That's
soundboard.
Hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay. Well, I think we've said it all. DJ, hit our music. Vic, take us home.
Again, everyone, appreciate it for spending some time with us tonight and talking about some European soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Be sure to like and subscribe us wherever we are. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for Twitter, except for TikTok. That is at No Biz Soc Pod, because those names were way too damn long. Everyone, enjoy the football this weekend, and we will talk to you all very soon.
Peace.